Well, good afternoon, everyone. We are happy to have you here join us today. Today's meeting is around the alternative growth measure using the universal reading screener for districts and charters that have chosen to use this as an alternative growth measure in place of the portfolio in either pre-K, K, first, and or second grade. We have several from the department with us today, and we just want to welcome them. I do ask that you all stay on mute during this presentation. As we go through today's presentation, if you have questions, if you will put those questions in the chat, we are going to take all of our questions that we received today, and we're going to develop an FAQ. This FAQ will be housed on our team website. You can find all the information from today's meeting on the team website under the Growth tab, under the tab Alternative Growth Measures, and there you will find everything that we have sent in emails, as well as today's recording, this PowerPoint, and the FAQ that we will develop after today's meeting. Again, thank you, and we're going to get started. In our meeting today, we're going to talk about your teacher roster that we need you to submit for all of your AGM teachers. We're going to provide that guidance for you. We're going to review how growth scores are calculated and how your teachers will receive their growth scores from the alternative growth measure. We're going to talk about ensuring that your data is quality. We will provide you with next steps and how to receive support. So let's jump right in with talking about your rosters. Many of you have already submitted your rosters, and we thank you for that. If you have not submitted yet, we're going to now talk about the guidance for how to submit this roster. As I said earlier, this roster is for your teachers that your district chose to be part of the AGM. Districts choose their alternative growth measures for non-tested teachers in pre-K, kindergarten, first, and or second grade in their annual flexibility evaluation options survey. So your district has already chosen whether or not you're doing a portfolio in these grades or an alternative growth measure. So it's really important that you have discussed this with your director of schools to see which one your district has chosen to use. If your district chose to use the AGM Universal Reading Screener, then these are the teachers that you need to roster. We sent the email out to all of the district portfolio leads and evaluation configurators with information on how to roster, as well as today's meeting. To ensure that your teachers are going to receive their growth score, you can access the template here from this PowerPoint that's housed on the team website, as well as this same information was in the email that we sent out. And we have the rostering guidance as well on the team website. So there's several places you can receive this template. We want to make sure that all of the information on the template is accurate and that it is for the teacher of record in EIS for that grade level for ELA. All rosters need to be submitted to us by Friday. That's next Friday, December the 9th. And you will submit your roster through this FormStack link that is found here in the PowerPoint. It's also found in the email and on the team website. So let's look at the roster to make sure you know how to fill it out and that we get the correct information. The first two columns will be the teacher's name, their first name, their last name, their school email. This column D that says employee ID, this is the teacher's license number. This is a 9-digit number. Typically, it begins with 3 zeros. If you are unsure of a teacher's license number, please check T-Encompass to make sure we have the correct license number. The next column is the district ID. This is typically a 5-digit number. You only have one district ID for your district, so this should be the same number for all teachers. You can also find this number in T-Encompass. In column F, we need the grade level that this teacher teaches, ELA. This grade levels should be aligned to the grade level that they are assigned to as well in EIS. The school column is the school ID number, not the school's name, but the school's ID number. This is typically a 4-digit number, and it's also found in T Encompass. And this school year is the 22-23 school year. I want to show you a screenshot of where you find this information in T Encompass. You will see at the top of a teacher's record their license number. If you look down in their evaluation box, you will see your district ID number as well as the school ID number. They are found right here. You want to save the roster template to your desktop so that when you go into FormStack, you can upload this roster into the FormStack link. When you save the roster, please put your district or your charter's name after 22-23 in the AGM-URS teacher roster. This is what the FormStack will look like. The person that you put in the top box for name and the email, this will be our contact person that we will continue to send all of our information around AGMs to. So if the person that received the original email, the portfolio lead or the evaluation configurator, if you're not the person that's going to be responsible for submitting the AGM rosters or receiving the communications, make sure whoever this person's name and email is here, this is the person from your district that you want to receive all the information. Next, you will click which grade levels your district chose to implement the AGM Universal Reading Screeners. You want to make sure that these grades that you select are the exact same grades that were already selected and signed by your superintendent. And then let us know which Universal Reading Screener your district is implementing in that grade. Finally, you want to click Choose File and upload the roster template that you saved to your desktop. After you complete all of these, you will click Submit.
In order to receive a growth score, there are some things that have to happen. One of those things is the teachers who are implementing who have fewer than 6 students with complete data sets from the fall administration to the spring administration will not generate an individual growth score from the URS. These teachers will have their levels of effectiveness scores calculated as a non-tested teacher. This is very similar to what we do with TVAS. If teachers don't roster at least 6 students with complete data sets, they will not receive a score. The implementing teachers who do not generate an individual growth score from URS due to lack of district data quality will receive an incomplete and will not generate an LOE. For this past year, we had some teachers that we didn't have correct license numbers for, couldn't link students to them through EIS, and those teachers did not receive a score. We had a best of scenario for the 21-22 school year that will not apply for 22-23. So it is imperative that we get all of this data cleaned up and make sure that it's accurate before the scores are generated this next spring. These are just some things that you can do to ensure that your data quality is good. First, ensure that the teacher of record in your URS platform is the teacher of record in EIS for these ELA classes. Students should not be attributed to any other teachers. You can have more than one teacher in EIS as a teacher of record for an ELA class. The platform, when they're generating the scores, will try to match to the ELA class first. And then if they can't find an ELA teacher of record, it will go to the homeroom teacher. This is a scenario where you may have more than one ELA teacher. If it's a Montessori type situation and you've got 2-3 teachers that are teaching this whole group of students, and they each provide instruction for ELA during the course of the day or year. You can list all 3 of those teachers as teachers of record for that ELA class. You want to ensure that your state student identification number, teacher license number, and district and school identification numbers are correct. This information, as Tracy said, everything except your student ID number can be found in TN Compass. Please, please check those teacher license numbers. If you give us an incorrect teacher license number that happens to be the license number for a teacher in another district, that teacher will receive these scores, and it's a bit of a mystery, and it takes us a little while to figure out where those actual scores should have been done and get those scores moved. So please make sure that the teacher license number is correct. We have lots of teachers with the same first and last name in the state. So don't just do a search for that teacher and assume that's a license number. Make sure that is the teacher that is staffed in your district. Work directly with your vendor to correct all errors from the error reports. Vendors receive error reports after each URS submission window. They will receive one after the winter submission and one after the spring submission. Uncorrected errors may result in a teacher receiving an incomplete score and no LOE. It could result in them having an incorrect score also. So for our next steps, you need to ensure what grade levels your director of school has chosen to implement the AGM-URS for your district or charter. Make sure all your teachers know, your ELA teachers know. Complete the teacher roster for all of these teachers in the implementing grade levels. Verify the teachers on the roster are the ELA teachers of record in your EIS. Complete the form stack and upload the rosters by December the 9th, and work with your universal reading screener vendor to correct any errors.
Thank you, Amy. So finally, as I said at the beginning, we are going to take any questions that you have typed in the chat, and we're going to put those questions together and put answers with those questions, and we're going to develop a frequently asked questions document. We will house this FAQ on the team website, but we also have other things on the team website that will help you as well. One is we have the URS Alternative Growth Guidance PDF, where you can see how the growth score is calculated for the various approved universal reading screeners. If you have questions about using an AGM for the growth score, you can refer to our team website, Alternative Growth Measures tab. Also, if you think of questions after today's meeting that you did not put in the chat, please email those questions to team.questions@tn.gov, and we will also use those questions as we develop our FAQ. If you have questions or you need more information on implementation of your universal reading screener, then you need to contact tn.universalscreener@tn.gov. We thank you for attending our meeting today, and we look forward to reading your questions and getting the answers to those questions and completing our work on the team website. Today's recording will be housed in the resource section on the team website. Thank you.